Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends and fellows. How are you? My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friends, look, we the human beings, we are struggling and striving for several things, for many a things in our life, for more than one thing, maybe couple of things, because we are of the view that unless and until I do succeed in all of these things, I can't call myself as a successful person, as a happier person, or that as a complete person. So we people are struggling and striving for several things, for many a things, for all the time and during our lifetime. Dear friends, one of those things is being likable, being approved by the people, being liked by the people, and we don't want to become a kind of we don't want to become a kind of undesirable person at all. We want to be liked by the people, and that is something really, really natural. And at least we don't want to, lose the graph of our popularity, likability. If at all we are not moving forward in this direction, at least we don't want to come back. At least we don't want to regress. And if at all we are not progressing, we should not be regressing in this respect at all, being a likable person. And there are things certain which makes us quite a likable person, and vice versa there are certain other things which are making us an unlikable person. We here on this channel, I have talked several times about what are the things which can make us a likable person, which can improve the approval rating about us. Today we are going to talk about something totally different, and that is what are the things which are making us unlikable. What are the things which are making us unlikable? And we need to know it first. And once we are able to know it, then we must be able to avoid it as well, so that we don't lose so that we don't make a regress. As for the likability is concerned, so there are 10 warning signs. 10 warning signs you are slowly becoming less likable as a person. You are slowly becoming less likable as a person. What are those 11 warning signs? And let's look upon all of these one by one. First of all, it is constant complaining, and complaining, either in the presence of a person or in the absence of them. If at all we are complaining for most of the time, obviously we will become a less likable person, or maybe we will become an unlikable person at all. So we need to minimize the complaining, either in front of that particular person or in the absence of that particular person. I think that we need to minimize, we need to reduce it as much as we can. Still, I don't say that we need to totally eliminate that, because that is not humanly possible. If at all we do have a kind of genuine complaint against a person, then it is okay to put it forward in a sensible manner. Otherwise, we should not be complaining for all the time. So that is the number one reason. Uh, that is the number one warning sign. Number two, it is ignoring others. Ignoring others, I think we should not be ignoring others at all, and giving the due weightage to the person. Giving a due weightage to a person mean, I don't say that we can't give a kind of protocol of a VIP to each and everyone else. That is not possible. But at least we should be giving some weightage to the people, to the other people, so that they don't feel ignored at all, and so that they don't feel ignored at all. So, ignoring others, that is another sign, warning sign that we are becoming less likable person. The third is being overly competitive. Being overly competitive. I think that we shouldn't be competing at all. Instead of the competition, it is far better to cooperate. If at all you are sitting amongst the friends, you are sitting amongst the people, and it is far better to cooperate. because if at all we are seen cooperating, it means that we are going in the wrong direction and the other person will be able to cooperate us as well. But if at all we are competing, if at all we are trying to defeat another person, so what is going to happen as a result of this thing? They too will be doing everything else within their reach, everything else they can conceive or do to defeat us. So we don't have to defeat anyone else at all during a course of argument, but somehow we can make the other person understand well, or at least we need to communicate well, we need to communicate politely, so that is that is being competitive. Never be competitive at all, overly competitive at all. Number 4, lack of empathy. Lack of empathy mean we are not interested, we don't want to know what is the actual situation of a person, and we are not interested, we are not sympathetic, we are not kind hearted, we are not considerate, we are not paying attention to if at all a person is doing something which is not that good, but we don't want to empathize with that particular person. Why not to put ourselves into the shoes of that person, so that we are better able to understand that why a person is doing something like this one. So this is, this warning sign is that lack of empathy. Number 5, the fifth warning sign is not keeping your promises. Not keeping your failing to keep your promises. It will make us not only less likable, rather it will create a kind of dislike amongst the people, in the minds and the hearts of the people for us. So we do have to make the promises carefully, and we do have to make sure that I'm full going to fulfill those promises. The number 6 is dominating conversation. Mean dominating conversation. There are people, if at all some of the people are sitting, so one person will be trying to dominate the other people person, or two people will trying to compete each other. I think both of these are highly negative and toxic. We should not try to dominate at all, but we can politely say something, and if at all it is liked by the people will approve it. So but if at all it is not liked by the people, obviously I think that we shouldn't be, we shouldn't be trying to dominate the conversation at all. And domination, it is absolutely unhealthy. It hurts the ego of the other people. We don't have to hurt the ego of another person. We don't have to damage the pride of someone else. So this is how, being overly competitive, dominating the conversation. Never try to dominate the conversation at all. Number 7, it doesn't mean not dominating the conversation, doesn't mean that we don't have to talk. We can talk, we can talk sensibly, whatever there is in our mind, whatever we want to communicate. Allow yourself to communicate that in a sensible manner, in a polite manner, so that the other people don't get hurt. The seventh is being judgmental, passing judgment on someone before even getting to know them. Passing judgment on someone before even getting to know them. I think we shouldn't be judgmental at all, and judgmental at all. And if even if at all we are going to say something about another person, let's be very careful and cautious, and don't exaggerate the things at all. Do not include the lies in it at all. Do not exaggerate the things at all. Rather, don't be a judgmental person. Being judgmental, we don't have to become a judgmental person at all, but forming the opinion about another person. Forming mean developing the opinion of ours about another person, that is our right, but let's be careful and cautious about that. And we might have to express it somewhere else, so we need to be careful and cautious about this thing at all, my dear friends. Now, still the next is The eighth is negativity. It is the negativity, and some of the people are hopeless people. Not only that, they themselves are the hopeless. If at all you talk to them, and they will be having their company will be having a very negative impact upon you. You too will becoming you too will be also becoming a kind of negative person, because it is the this process is called osmosis. So we don't have to do this thing at all. My dear friends and fellows, don't be a negative person at all. Rather, the more positivity you do have, the better it is for our own life on the one hand, and to increase the likability amongst the people for us. And then the ninth is gossiping. Stop gossiping. And what is this gossip, by the way? According to the Oxford Advanced English Dictionary, it is casual or unconstrained conversation or report about the people, typically involving details that are not been confirmed as true. So I think gossiping is bad. We don't want the people to gossip about us, so we too shouldn't be gossiping about the other people at all. Let's avoid that. And the 10th and last is lack of self awareness. We need to develop the self awareness, and this self awareness is important for the reason, what is this self awareness? Knowing our own weaknesses, and what kind of threats will be emerging because of this thing. And we should be aware of our weaknesses and the kind of threats which might occur as a result of these. And our weaknesses might be inviting certain unpleasant and difficult situations. And then we need to know about our strengths as well. We need to know about our strengths, and also that what kind of opportunities I may get because of these strengths of mine. So that is being self aware. I think that we have talked about lacking self awareness. So these are the 10 warning signs you are slowly becoming less likable as a person. We don't have to become a less likable person, rather we need to increase our likability. And if at all we are trying to get rid of all these 10 habits, these 10 warning signs have been removed, it means that we are becoming more and more likable person amongst the other people. Our approval rating will increase a lot. Thank you very much, dear friends.